Hello, everyone. If you are someone that is going through a season of change right now, whether it's job loss or financial troubles or a relationship breakup or a friendship breakup, I want you to know that you are not alone, that I am with you, and it is not the end. Now, before we go any further, I just want to say welcome to my channel. My name is Suraj, and welcome to Suraj Unlimited. This is the channel where I talk a little bit more about my life experiences and some of the lessons that I've learned. And I hope that some of the lessons that I've learned that I'm going to be sharing with you, you are able to take in one or two messages that may resonate with you. Now, for the past 6 years, I have been focused on personal development. I've been focused on personal growth. I've also been focused on building my abundance mindset. This change is not easy. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes deliberate effort, and it takes consciousness to be able to stay your ground despite the turbulences that we may experience. It does not happen overnight, just like that. It actually happens through vigorous action and attention day in and day out. And for that to happen, I had to realize that I was operating from scarcity in first place. And once I realized that the thoughts and emotions and feelings and my actions were actually on a scarcity side, then I found it easy to make that shift into abundance mindset. Main reason I wanted to change and main reason I actually wanted to switch over from scarcity mindset to abundance mindset was because I was tired of being the same mediocre me. I was tired of being afraid. I was tired of actually living in my comfort zone. I found myself questioning myself day in and day out. How long will I continue to tolerate this life? Because I knew deep inside of me that I was meant for bigger and better things. I kid you not, but over the past 6 years, I have seen my life change dramatically for the better in an incredible amount of speed. I have changed zip codes, I've changed my identity, I've changed who I am as a person, I've changed everything about me except my name. Now, while that may be true, one thing to keep in mind is that our minds are like a garden. We have to plant a seed and we have to nurture that seed and keep faith that that seed will one day sprout into a huge plant. You don't know when, but it will sprout. That is something that's very hard to do because I am someone that struggled with consistency for quite some time in my life. In fact, all my life throughout, I've actually had inconsistencies happen to me. But it was not until I decided to take matter into my own hands to be consistent about something, and that's when I saw my reality change as well. Now, change can happen when we decide that we want the change to happen in first place. And yes, that starts with letting go of what we do not want or letting go of things that we're already way too comfortable with. So over the period of 6 years, I've had to let go of a lot of romantic relationships, a lot of friendships, a lot of possessions that I held closely to my heart. And I found that these things or these people will be with me forever. But when I realized I had to go through that growth journey, some of them decided to break away on its own, and some of the things I had to willingly let go of. About a year ago, I decided to change my environment as well. So I decided to move and I decided to move out on my own. And while that change came through effortlessly and I felt quite excited about it, I also felt nervous about it because I was letting go of the comfort zone. And that is the key here. As I was going, I was also letting go of people who no longer were aligned with who I was, who were still attached to the identity that I had 5 years or 10 years ago. And I know that you might have people like that in your life as well. When you're trying to change, when you're trying to level up, when you're trying to grow from where you are to a higher level, you will come across these people who will try to remind you, why are you changing? They will try to be there to ground you, to tell you who you're becoming is something that is not okay. Because in reality, those are the people that actually are threatened by the change you're making. Because you're no longer the version that they saw that they were comfortable with. Because in order to level up to a new level, you have to let go of certain things. You have to let go of certain practices. You have to let go of certain habits. You have to let go of certain people as well. And that is a hard change to make. And it's not everyone's cup of tea. But you also have to realize to have better, you have to lose some as well. To let to have the great, you have to let go of the good. And in this case, I was in a place where I needed to level up not only my lifestyle, but I also needed to level up my crowd. And as I was making these changes, I came across a lot of people who constantly would check up on me, who would constantly see, hey, how are you doing? Hey, what are you up to? Hey, what's new? Hey, what's going on? Now, I genuinely believed that people are nice, people are kind. And yes, people do have good in them. But I also believe that not everyone that approaches you with the intention of making a connection has the best of the interest for you. Sometimes they might be having their own interest in you, and that's why they reach out to you in first place. Now, this could be because they want to gain their own satisfaction of helping someone, right? It could be any of it. But if there's anything I've learned is that when you are going through a down period, there will be a lot of people that will be there to listen to your stories for entertainment purpose because they want to see how low you are in life. It's almost like if you're on the ground and there are so many people there ready to kick you, to make fun of you. They want to be like, oh, I'm so sorry you're going through this. But in reality, none of them are able to actually help you or will actually extend a hand to help you get off the ground. And that is the reality I have experienced in my life. There have been people who are actually there to listen to your sob stories, but they have no interest in actually helping you level up to the better level. Instead, they will try to give you unsolicited advice on how to go down even lower. Yes, that is true. There's so many people out there that are willing to give you unsolicited advice on how to downgrade in life. And by unsolicited, I mean like advice that you did not even ask for in first place. But then they are trying to be the preacher in trying to advise you on things that you did not even need their advice on. And I had to make that discernment to realize that this is not the advice I wanted to listen to. You know why? Because not everyone has your best interest. Because sometimes they have their own agenda, they have their own interest, their own benefit in mind, and that's why they're actually reaching out to you in first place. You have to be cognizant of that. Now, if you are wondering how will I be actually cognizant of this advice, I have one question that you can always ask yourself. Is this the person I want to switch or trade places with in my future? If I'm going to take advice from this person and use it, do I want to be where this person is in their life today? And if the answer is no, then you discard their advice right then and there. That's it. But if the answer is yes, you do want to be where they are in life, then yes, you can go and move forward and take their advice as well. But you will still have an inner knowing for yourself on knowing whether the advice that they're sharing with you is something that is useful to you in first place. And that is when your intuition kicks in. And this is why I ask always to be in tune with yourself. This is why I always ask that you have to be cognizant and conscious enough to be able to identify which person actually wants the best for me, which person actually desires the best for me, and which person actually knows what's best for me as well. Because if they know what's best for me, they won't advise something that would actually pull me away from abundance mindset. Instead, they would actually pull me towards abundance mindset because they're aware of my goals. They are aware of who I want to be. They're aware of where I am headed. They're aware of my trajectory of my life as well. And I kid you not, out of all the acquaintances, family members, friends I've had over the years, there are very select few people that I actually do trust in my life, that I actually do count on in trusting them wholeheartedly with the decisions that I make. and with the outcomes that I want as well. Because if there's anything I want you to do, is not make the same mistake that I've made of taking advice from people who just have their own agenda to fill. So little by little, I started noticing that while these people were reaching out, the more I was communicating with them, the more I found myself getting more distressed, more concerned. And then I found my attitude, my mental attitude, and my worries, and my old habits, and my old belief systems kicking in all over again. And this is where I had to check in with myself and realize, hey, you know what? Why am I going back to the way I used to be? Why am I digressing in my life? 9 times out of 10, it's not someone else. 9 times out of 10, it's you that you have to look at. You have to realize, what are you doing to actually digress from your goal? Why are you experiencing what you're experiencing? And sometimes the answer might not come through right away, especially when you are going through so much noise in your life. Once you isolate yourself and once you are able to think clearly, and I don't mean in terms of like overthinking, but the answer will come to you directly, letting you know that, hey, you know what, this and this reason why. Sometimes I do that through walks, sometimes I do that through workouts, through meditation, through whatever practice I can do to be on my own. And then you realize, truly, I could not blame anyone else for where I am today. In fact, I could take responsibility for where I am today because I was the one that took their advice in first place. Because it's never the other person. It's always you that you have to look at yourself in the mirror. The more you blame someone else for the conditions that you're in, the more harder it will be for you to change. But the more sooner you actually take the responsibility of the choices that you're making, the faster you'll be able to pick yourself off the ground and head towards the trajectory that you want to be on. Yes, I have those moments where I've sulked, where I've felt bad, where I've beaten myself up, where I've blamed myself. But I also had to realize that I had to keep on moving because staying stagnant was not an option for me. Because sulking in my own mistakes, of listening to someone else that I don't want to trade lives with, is not going to move me any further. But in fact, the more faster I course correct my actions, the much faster I'd be able to get back on the feet of where I want to be, where I want to go, the life that I want to live. Over the past 6 years, I have lost a lot. I've also gained a lot of myself as well. And it all came down to realizing that it is all up to me. It is all up to me for me to decide whether I want to change or I want to continue staying the same. It is all up to me for me to realize that whose advice I want to let into my life, who I want to become like, who I want to become. How do I want to tend my garden? That is my mind. How do I want to take care of my body? How do I want to do things? Because the more we keep on blaming other people, the more harder it will be to take yourself out of quicksand. If it all came down to this, it's that you can only control yourself. You can't control someone else. Someone else is going to think what they have to because you can't change their mind, because that's their own thoughts, their own beliefs, their own interest, their own upbringing, and their own story. But what you want in your life is something that you have to decide on your own. And this is why I say, wake up, people. If you're still sleeping, if you're still blindly following through on what other people are telling you to do, on how other people are telling you to live, then you are doing a disservice to yourself. You are doing disservice to your inner self, because the more conscious you are, the more aware you are, the more easier it will be to achieve the reality that you desire. And yes, you will come across the right people, the right environment, the right friendships, the right relationships, the right home, the right everything. Once you decide to make that change, once you decide to make that decision that you do want to change, and you take that action towards bettering yourself. And it starts with you. So if something resonated with you today, please comment down below and share with me and share with other people what really stuck with you. And if you are new to this channel, please like, subscribe, and comment down below for more content. And please share ideas on what else I can share. Thank you.